Alright, so this is Harrison Red with the week 3 summary of what happened this week. So, the neat resource this week was a large Hadron Collider and the Higgs boson particle. So, a lot of people posted some really cool things. I went through a couple of the different like TV interviews and things like that about people with information and like stuff like that, but it was kind of cool to just see like all the different things. I really like Professor Michio Kaku or whatever his name is. He always is really fascinating. I always liked watching his shows, so I always think his interviews are really cool. But it's cool to see the different things that they're possibly going to be using it for. Things like reaching the speed of light. Things like, uh, you know, different abilities of like how we're going to be able to utilize this new information and things like that. So I think it's really awesome that all this stuff is coming out and things like that. So yeah, so that's kind of an update about what happened with the neat resource for the week. After that, I worked a lot on the projects this week. Here's my little thing. So I did the projects all together. I probably had like 4, 6, 9. There's 2 over here. So it's around like 14, 15 hours for this week doing everything. As you can see, I started my debate research. I'm doing the health benefits of acupuncture, and so I started looking for some possible little like avenues to go with that, and just doing some research through the different library systems available to find articles. I just go through the University of Arizona website library system, and that usually helps me get a lot of the articles. So I still utilize that. Here's some pictures from doing the projects. They're a little blurry at first because I just am terrible at taking pictures. But here's the first one. Oh, this is me when I had a little thing. So as you can see, it switches back and forth. And I also have videos of these too that I'll show after this. But this is the 6th project, Project 6, making the light theremin. And I thought the light theremin was really cool because I actually have a normal theremin. It's not like a fully functional one. It's like a little tiny fun one just for kicks. But it was cool to kind of see like the different way that you can make one. And it didn't work out at first, but the second time it did. But it was interesting to see like the programming and information that goes into making a theremin function. Since I have a little baby one. So here's the keyboard, and I played a little song with that, but I'll show you that in a second. So there's all those. Here are my videos from today. Here, let me move this around a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think I can hit it. Alright, so there's that functioning, twisting. My switch wouldn't stay in exactly, the potentiometer wouldn't stay in right, so it would pop out every once in a while, but once I got it to kind of stay in, it worked pretty well, as you can see towards the end of the video. And then that's my readings on the everything. There it goes. So yeah, this one, it took me a second, but I didn't want to record too long because it was squeaky. But yeah, this is hot cross buns. I've been called the maestro of my generation when it comes to programming musical boards. That top line was a little finicky, so I think I ended up replacing it. It worked out better. But it was fun making the little devices and seeing the different ways. I thought the keyboard one was really cool because I thought, if you had the time and a large enough breadboard and or motherboard, you could definitely like make a full musical instrument, and that's amazing that you can do that with just such a simple wiring program and program for the project. For some reason this one closed. Let's get rid of that. So then here's the project, the code for that project, project 7, and then I have them all saved in these little files. So then there's project 6, which at first I was kind of confused when it talked about the LED pin because I was like, there is no LED pin in this system, but then I realized that they were talking about the LED on the Arduino board, not like an LED that I put in. And my mouse is freaking out. And then for the last one, if I can get control of my mouse again. I have Project 5 right here. So here's all the programs that was written for all these. Project 5 was real short. But on top of that, I think this week I learned a lot about just kind of how the little things in the world can really be incredible discoveries. Like this particle is so tiny and like minuscule, but it really reveals so much about our world and discovers so much that we can actually now manipulate and things like that. And I really liked the rap was awesome, but aside from that, it was amazing. That girl was really cool. But the controversial debate topics, I know a lot of people have been going through and picking those. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Someone's on the struggle bus today. And then along with that, I responded to the 4D humanity discussion. I really liked the different point of views that people came about and seeing the different ideas that people were bringing in. And it just kind of interested me about like the mixing of dimensions and like how the dimensions have shifted from then to today and like how they may change but always remain the same, being like flexible and things like that. I really like this discussion on students today and shift happens. I think it was something that I really responded to and felt that, I felt very strong about, in the fact that I believe, there's a lot of things that students can do to avoid some of the problems that we're seeing in that video. And I think sometimes some students just don't think about like what like they're putting into the class and things like that. So I think I really enjoyed the way that this class is run and the way that, it's kind of put more on us to be as involved as we want to be. And it's a challenge by choice. If you want to be involved, then you're going to be involved. So I think this kind of really represented well about how people can really try and get a better grasp on their education and get ahead of themselves. And then shift happens. That's things that I hear about all the time from just my family and my parents. They're all really businessy involved, so they always are seeing all this stuff happening in different countries and telling me for some reason why, I should know about all these things going on. But yeah, I think it was just kind of a really interesting aspect to look at. So yeah, I think that's about it for this week. I'm excited for next week. Got to get that debate written up and get all that stuff done. And I'm going to be making my way over to the Arizona Science Center soon. So if anyone else is planning on going there, I'll let you know when I'm going. But yeah, other than that, I'm excited for next week. So talk to you all next week. Bye.